What's up, Mortgage Coach community? I am back with Todd Duncan. What's up, Todd?
Hey, buddy. Good to see you, man. It's like a great
Good.
day in your neck of the woods.
It is. I'm in Northern California and having an awesome day. So I just got done interviewing Todd for a full hour in our Friday mastermind, and I wanted to create something that's like, 10 to 15 minute, really tight conversation around refinancing in today's market. So we literally have this. If you're a referral-based local purchase-first lender, high trust mortgage coach, how do you optimize the refi wave? So Todd, why don't you just start with that? Like what's the thinking behind that? What's the behaviors around that? And then let's get into tactics, scripts, things that will help people optimize their past customer database and maximize refis.
Yeah. So thanks, Dave. I think the tendency in the market is whenever we get into a refi season, which we're obviously very much in the midst of, that everybody thinks that it's just about lowering payment and lowering rate. And obviously that's one of the indicators of why people, want to refinance their loan, right? But I think the true mortgage professional is always going to be reminded that even in the period of refinance, there is a need for strategic advice. And I think far too often we kind of forget about that. And, when you think about making sure that you're asking your borrowers the right kind of questions that actually set you up to be their mortgage provider for life, their mortgage solutionist or strategist for life, you have to get back to the very same questions you kind of asked when you did their purchase loan, if you did that. And so, questions like, tell me what is important about lowering your rate to you. That's a really great question. Looking at payment versus, cost of borrowing versus mortgage strategy. That's a very, very good question to ask. In the midst of a refinance, what are your financial objectives over the next 5 to 10 years, and how will this refinance play into that? Really, it's reminding the mortgage professional that the deeper you go, the more you know about the consumer, Dave, the more that you eliminate competition, and the more that you ask the kind of questions that people don't ask, and the more that you provide the kind of answers that people can't provide because they haven't asked the right questions, the more you remain that trusted advisor in the period of what we know right now is one of the lowest rate environments we've ever seen. So I think the one thing I would say out of the gate is just because it's a refinance does not mean it shouldn't be strategic. And to you and I believing that advice is everything. I mean, even in the midst of refinances, you need to advise.
Yeah. One question to add is ask people how old do they want to be when their mortgage is paid off. Right. And based off your current loan, how old are you going to be? Because there's always a gap, what they want, what they have. And now when you're delivering your mortgage advice, you can really speak to that. And here's the deal, guys. You're always getting rate shocked. We live in a world now where Zillow's in the mortgage business. So, people always know what rates are at. So you got to get ahead of it. You got to, when you're delivering a mortgage experience, you've got to assume that they know what rates are at. And so you've got to give options, and you've got to deliver more than a transaction. You've got to deliver, build wealth with real estate faster. And I think Todd and I both align on this concept that this is a great time to get a lot of new business, but it's a great time to build clients for life. So Todd, you have some really good scripts. And one thing I'm trying to do in the community right now is, whether it's a branch manager or a loan officer, arm them and their loan officers with, hey, here's the call that you make to your past clients, and here's some scripting. Here's the email that you should send. Here's the video that you should do. So what are some great ways, and what are some scripts for, high trust community to get on the phone and do refis?
So I think the first and obvious is how do you communicate the desire to serve in kind of a mass way, right? So we can individually tailor video. We can embed video into an email that can be to a group of clients that might be targeted in your kind of, here's where they are rate wise, this higher, and here's where rates are now. So video messaging is very strong, and a simple video can be, hey, borrower, this is Todd Duncan with ABC Financial. As you well know, interest rates are on the move, and I'm sending you this video because right now it appears, based on your original loan balance and where rates are today, that we might be able to save you between $200 and $400 a month, depending on what your long and short-term goals are. Simply click here, and I'm happy to run through your profile, run through how your financial situation has changed, and then I can recommend a mortgage strategy for you given this healthy environment we're in. So I can blanket, you know, whatever that population is. I can filter everybody in this rate. I can filter anybody in this product. I can filter if you've done your database the right way, right? And the other thing I can do is I can do that same thing. And if I have mobile phone, or I have text messaging, which implies both, I can message through text, or I can message through slide dial. I can do group slide dial. I can message a couple thousand people if I wanted to. I think the big thing right now is you still got to be strategic, Dave. I think that, you know, the idea behind strategic refinances versus just refinances is super powerful. And I think what people forget about is, even in the midst of a refi, because you have a pre-existing relationship with the client, in many cases, if it's a cold call refi, I would advise slowing down on that, paying attention to your core customer refi, and then pay attention to the customers that are linked to a real estate agent. That's the whole kind of troika that we want to do. Beyond that, you've got to remember that what got you the purchase in the first place was you valued advice, you used a mortgage coach, you did TCAs, you recommended mortgage strategy, and you built high trust. And so we have to get back to that. And I think it's important to remind people that just because you have a pre-existing relationship with a customer doesn't mean it's a laydown, right? You still want to be an advisor. It's like if I go to a doctor one year and the doctor says blah, 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 and then the next year, you know, I noticed something different and the doctor just said blah, 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 I wouldn't think the doctor's doing his or her job. So if I'm a mortgage professional, I want to get back to what made this relationship work. And in many cases, if not most, it was being able to be strategic in your scripts. It was being able to create the highest levels of trust possible, which in the world today is still face-to-face. And it puts you in a position to be able to ask the kind of questions that nobody else is asking. Like, how will this refinance affect your long and short-term goals? When do you want to have this debt paid off? And how will rate and program come and play a role in that? Those are the questions that have to be asked today. And if we're not doing that, then it's just, you know, it's just kind of hit and miss, and we may get the deals and we may close them, but a lot of people are shopping today. I think one of the things that happens in refinances is a lot of people shop. You know, this is one of the, let me just show you a quick, great script on shopping. You know, this is a pattern interrupt, and, you know, somebody's thinking about interest rates and they're thinking about, you know, that they should maybe do this or call a couple different lenders. I think one of the things that a lender can do is, I think you should talk to some other lenders. Now, that may sound at the face value of, why would I do that? Well, you want to do that because you want to be so strategic in what you do that when they talk to other lenders, they come back to you, and it may not always be about the lowest rate or the lowest payment. So I think you should talk to some other lenders. It's important to me that you feel really good with the lender you choose. I believe that I'm that person, as I've helped you before. Here's some questions you may want to ask the lenders you talk to. How will the loan for which I've asked for a quote affect my financial goals? What does it mean to create a mortgage plan? What percentage of the loans you take, you know, close on time? And then this is one of the key things we've developed over the last couple of years. The lowest rate with the wrong strategy can cost you more than the slightly higher rate with the right strategy. I'll follow up in a day or so to see how it works. And so if I'm shopping, I can do something like that. And I think the key right now is just to assume you always got to add value, and you always got to understand when refinance periods come along like this, people want the lowest rate. I mean, that's why they're refinancing. Your job is to make sure that they have the best strategy. And that goes back to what you've built the whole mortgage coach company on, Dave.
Love it, Todd. So guys, here, you know, we just covered some ideas to get people on the phone. Todd, at the very end, I want you to pull up some of the other scripts you shared earlier today. I want everybody to be armed with, when you are doing that loan and you are having that refi conversation, your competition and most loan officers are just going to say, hey, here's your rate today, here's your new rate, here's your monthly payment today versus your previous monthly payment, and there's your savings. And the whole conversation is based on that. I want to urge you that the difference between being a mortgage planner, being a high trust loan officer, being a mortgage coach loan officer, and being a transactional loan officer is that's where it starts. Where you really start to transition into being a leader and an advisor is when you show the savings over time. So savings over 5 years or 7 years or whatever period of time is relevant to the client. And you always show a prepay strategy. whether it's prepaying the mortgage to accelerate debt reduction and save even more money, or it's invest the difference with your financial planner. Guys, great time to be reaching out to your financial planners and CPAs and telling them that, hey, most of your clients are out there just shopping for the lowest rate. I will help them pick the best mortgage to build wealth with you by picking the right mortgage. So great time to reach out to them. So Todd, let's speak to that, and then let's kind of wrap this up. And I also want to share like screenshots of some of the actual scripts that you showed, but let's do that. Oh, go do it now if you want.
Yeah, I'll do it now.
Yeah.
So, one of the things in selling is you have to understand the science of a pattern interrupt. So a lot of people don't have time today, or they want to do it fast, or, you may have done their purchase loan before. And as I've just said, even in the midst of refinances, you still want to be strategic. You still want to anchor face-to-face trust. And so this is a script that we put up earlier. When we spend 30 to 45 minutes together face to face, so that's kind of a pattern interrupt. Everybody kind of thinks they can just do it over the web or using mobile technology. I can show you the easiest and smartest way to potentially save thousands of dollars in this refinance and create a new mortgage plan that'll provide the maximum benefit possible while enhancing your long-term financial future. So, you have to start to think, and I think this is important. A lot of people don't think right now in a refi that you need to meet face-to-face. And the reason you need to meet face-to-face is because if this person is an influencer, the deeper you go in face-to-face trust creation, and the deeper you go in, Dave, mortgage planning advice, the more likely they are to introduce you to other ecosystems. And if you think about it right now, if you want to be really strategic about creating the kind of this circle of cash flow, people know the people that know the people, you want to be strategic with every refinance. There is a decision that's going to be made that is going to lower payment, but there has to be a strategy behind it. And you need to be thinking that it's your job to interrupt most people's thinking. Here's another one. If interest rates are being talked about, well, so-and-so has this and so-and-so has that, blah, 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 blah. You've asked me a few times about interest rates and fees, and from what I'm hearing from you, most of the lenders with whom you're speaking are providing you with some confusing information. That is every high trust LO's like secret sauce, right? My team and I are different from most lenders. We meet face-to-face with all of our borrowers. Our goal is to learn your long and short-term financial goals, show you how refinancing your home affects those goals, and then recommend several financing options to help you achieve what's important to you. And you do stuff like that, Dave, and just come up with these lines. And today it's more important to not see how much refi volume you can do. Today it's more important to be very strategic in the refi volume you do, so that you can take care of first the clients that are referred to you by your initial referral partners, agents, and then those that have the greatest scope of influence in business leadership or ownership of a company by doing the right thing for them, so you can do the right thing for their employees, and then getting to a point where you have strategic advisorship going on with third-party trusted advisors like financial planners, like accountants, like tax planners. So I think it's my message right now in our quick interview together is do the same thing on a refi you do on a purchase. Use the TCA, use retirement planning, use wealth building, use everything you've learned from me and from Dave, and do it when no other lender's doing it, because everybody thinks refis is just lower the rate, get done. So,
guys. So I'm also going to put a link down below to my interview with Todd earlier today, because we spent a whole hour and there was more information that we didn't have time to cover. So if you really want to become a ninja and how to balance today's market and getting lots of refis, but staying focused as a purchase lender, Todd gave a few ideas in that interview. Also, I'm going to put a link to the Todd Duncan total cost analysis, where you can see in the actual number parts of it, we talk about prepaying the difference. And Todd also gives some scripting, so that'll be down below. So Todd, I have one last script, but before I do that script, I want to talk about sales mastery, because I am passionate that this is a great time for the mortgage coach community to celebrate our success. Like, let's get together and celebrate the success we're having in the business. And then let's get together in person, learn from the best, which I can't think of a better place than sales mastery to learn from the best of the best. And then, network. Like, to me, just networking at Sales Mastery is such a precious time to grow as a mortgage professional. So tell us real quick about Sales Mastery, and then what is the special offer for mortgage coach members?
No, it's, I feel a little bit like, let's talk about the most important thing, which is community and networking and connecting with other people that have a desire to win. There's nothing more attractive than to be gathered with a couple thousand people in a high performance kind of culture, everybody wanting to win. And the networking, Dave, the relationships, having been there every year that we've done the event, the networking is priceless. I'd pay thousands and thousands of dollars just to be there, let alone, buy a ticket. So I think that's number one. Number two, I think that everybody needs to understand Warren Buffett's quote, don't be naked when the tide goes out. The tide is going to go out. Refis are going to stop and rates are going to go up. And the question is, if you don't have a crystal ball as to when that's going to happen, let's prep for that, right? Let's do the things right now that are going to give you the kind of business lift that you'll need, whether refinances are, prevalent and super abundant or not. So what we're doing for Mortgage Coach users is we're going to give you a baseline discount of $190 off the retail price of the ticket. So that's about 1/3 of a loan commission, about $800 to be there. And that'll give you a 4-day access pass to everything we're going to do on stage at Sales Master. We've got 21 presenters, each of which are designed to give you a $100,000 income per year idea. They're going to be at our booths. They're going to be at the vendor booths. They're going to be networking with you, kind of giving you their secrets. We have 5 outside keynote speakers, including the managing director of Morgan Stanley, Carla Harris, to talk about, where is this business going? Where's the industry going? And what does it look like for the mortgage space? And it's going to be action-packed, stacked to the gills with ideas. We also then have a premier platinum ticket available for Mortgage Coach users. We take $400 off the retail price. And what that does is it gives you the 4-day pass, but it also gives you all the video files, all the playbooks, and all the digital assistance tools that are coming off that stage with 21 presenters. So we'll give that to you as well. So we have a special site set up for you guys. It's salesmastery.com, salesmasteryevent.com/mortgage-coach. And if you go there, you can see the special pricing, and we're happy to help you guys be there. Dave, I know that you're a big believer in the event. You've been there every year since we started it, and I'm just super grateful for your friendship.
Well, I'm grateful for you putting the event on so much, and you always do such a great job. Also, I'm going to be hosting a little, toast, champagne toast to kick things off. Would love to have you guys there. There'll be a link down below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, link down below for you to click to get that. And, just let us know you're going. I want to know who's going to be there. So Todd, I promised everybody one last script before we wrap up today's call. And I thought some of the scripting that you laid out around how to get someone to come to your office was really good. I don't know if you can show that on your screen, but here's the deal, guys. And Todd, you said it really well in our last interview. If you want to WACD your business, do what Amazon can't do, and have a client for life practice, you've got to give a total cost analysis. You've got to do more than a transaction. But really recommend you meet with that person at some point. So if you met with them in the purchase, maybe you don't need to meet with them in the refi, but if you didn't meet with them, so give us some good scripting on how to get people to come into our office, and then let's wrap up today's, quick hit here.
Okay, so I'll throw a couple up real quick. I just, you kind of caught me just off guard at the end, but I think, so this is one that I like. Everybody is super busy, right? And so let me see if I can grab this one real quick. Boom, 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 boom. So this is, stating the obvious. I know your life is incredibly busy and stressful. Getting a home loan doesn't have to be. By taking the time to meet with me, I'll help guide you. And those 2 words, help guide, are the mortgage professional's secret weapon. You have to go from stopping to think that you're selling, stopping to think that you're providing, a quote and all these numbers and everything. You want to guide people to the right decision. So I'll help guide you through the process, answer all your questions. At the end, make sure you feel. So feel is one of the highest conversion words that you can use in your scripting and your dialogues. I want to make sure you feel. And then you have to close with emotional motivators. Safe, secure, and comfortable are 3 of the top emotional motivators. So as a past client, I know that your life is incredibly busy and stressful. And as you know, by me being your mortgage provider, getting a home loan doesn't have to be, by taking the time just to meet with me on this refinance. I want to discuss your long and short-term goals. I want to help guide you through the process. I want to answer all your questions, and then make sure you feel comfortable, safe, secure, and ready to go forward with this new product recommendation. And, something as simple as that, Dave, can get people to meet face to face. I think one of the other things that is important to show is this was a Stratmore quote from the beginning of 2018. And they recommended that all mortgage people do face-to-face. And the reason for it is it's the smallest percentage of how loans are done, and it provides the highest customer sat of any method of application. So I think people think that when refinances come along, I don't have to do face-to-face. Actually, the alternative is true. You should do face-to-face because that's where you're going to get the highest customer sat score. Why is that important? Client for life thinking, and obviously referrals. So I would just encourage everybody to keep driving face-to-face. You know, face-to-face, no matter whether it's a purchase or a refi, accelerates trust, allows you to connect. It gives you this face-to-face eye contact, gives you power and influence, gives you connectivity in the human soul, and there's no downside, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I'm also going to put an interview down below that if we can't do face-to-face, it's going to be the ultimate online, but it's plan B. And then sometimes it's like, hey, you met him in person, but you just want to have a really good online educational experience. It's part of the overall process. Link down below my interview with Craig Spence, who is one of the most effective loan officers with an online mortgage experience. So guys, here's my closing thought. So Todd shared some scripts. He shared some ideas, but there's a difference between knowing what to do and doing it. And it requires personal connection. It requires building skills. And that is done best at an event. That's done best in person. Ryan Grant, who's one of the most successful loan officers on the planet, will be on stage walking through how he gets people to come and meet. And then the beauty is you not only get to see it in person, emotionally connect, hear even more scripts. Like you saw all those slides that Todd had. And he gave us little like highlights of scripts. You're gonna get great scripts, and then you're gonna get to go up and meet with these people afterwards and build skills. You know, really take it to the next level. So click down below, sign up for Sales Master. It's not too late. It's only 5 weeks away. Hope to see you there. Todd Duncan, you the man.
There you go, buddy.
If you guys like this, give it a like. If you loved it, love it. Share it with your mortgage friends. And my last challenge to every mortgage manager is that you need to listen to this with your team, and you need to put together like, okay, what's the email that we're going to send out to our past customer database in this branch? What's the script, you know, and use this as inspiration. Make sure that you have some mortgage coach, refi, TCAs. The interview I just did with Sean Herrera, where he's talking about how he's creating TCAs, and he's emailing some clients, and then he is like doing, why not refi? And then, building that client for life. So links down below. Todd, take it easy, bro.
Okay,
have a great day,
Thanks,
everybody.
Dave.
Hopefully this was valuable.
Bye-bye.